Hello, everybody, and welcome to this presentation of the ECL Elite Division right here on Sports Gamer. My name is Turkey, joined, as always, by my broadcast partner in Mr. Sin for the win. It is week number 4. We are rapidly approaching the end of our 30-game regular season, and Sin, the 4 games that we have here today, again, could have massive playoff implications.
Yeah, ZSC Esports, a team right now kind of trying to fight their way, claw their way into the playoff spot, whereas Goons, with the less games played and stuff, on point percentage would currently be in a playoff spot. But this is a huge matchup between two teams who are sort of on the bubble right now, even though Goons is kind of on the higher side.
Absolutely. Now, just making sure here that Discord hasn't dropped on me. It might have. It could have. It's possibly there. We should be all right, hopefully, as
Yeah,
long as everyone can still hear me.
yeah, I'm just frozen. It's all good.
Okay,
Okay.
good. So yeah, it's all right, everybody. We're good. Imagine that, Sin. 5 seconds into a broadcast, and some sort of technical difficulty pops up. It's been that kind of season. For whatever reason, the technical difficulty side of things always trying to bring us down, but we will power through as we always do. Sin, here tonight again, we will be covering 2 games, or 2 series, 4 games, of course, in total. First and foremost, it is ZSC Esports taking on Goons, and of course, a little bit later on, it'll be Fariestad taking on our number 1 seed currently in H-Reds. Very much looking forward to seeing them in action again after a dominant performance yesterday against HV71.
Yeah, it's they were just absolutely on fire. There's no other way to say it. H-Reds was just firing on all cylinders, and HV71, I don't think they really had an opportunity to get into it at any point.
Absolutely not. So again, here as we get ready to head into the action, let's get all of you a look at the current situation that we have within the league. We'll take a look at the standings and see where these 4 teams happen to be. Again, the left-hand side of the bracket is where you want to be by the end of our 30 games played. And Sin, you can see just about everybody over that 20 game played mark at the very least. And again, as we talked about throughout yesterday's broadcast, so many interesting stories, not just who's going to be in the playoffs, but who will find themselves in those relegation spots as well.
Yeah, and that's kind of where it gets really interesting here, and this is where this matchup, um, I mean, it doesn't have too many implications in this one, but as we mentioned, it's like the bubble teams and the teams right below them are going to be fighting to get those spots. And if you look at ZSC, they have 20 points. 3 teams below them, just 1 point out. One of those teams is in a relegation position as well in Northern Ascendancy. So these points very important for ZSC, not only to try to get into the playoffs, but if they drop them, they could get passed up, get leapfrogged, and all of a sudden they find themselves in a position where they have to scratch and claw just to stay in this elite division.
Anywhere between 8 to 10 games, as you can tell, remaining in this season. And again, it's so close through every aspect of the current standings. But again, this particular matchup to kick things off, it is the 10th ranked ZSC Esports taking on Goons, who currently find themselves in 8th. And Sin, we get a look here at the numbers for these 2 teams so far, and they are very, very close. I mean, it's almost surprising to see these numbers as close as they are, considering Goons was a team that was very much expected to almost easily make the playoffs again after they did so last year.
Yeah, and it just goes to show you how Goons are just able to win these close games. I mean, you saw in the standings, they come into today with, the 10-5-3 record, but they only have a positive 2 goal differential. Their power play is sub 10%. The penalty kill is at an okay place, I guess, but it's kind of crazy how evenly these two teams are matched, but there's such a discrepancy between their records and, the point percentage right now.
Absolutely. With that, let's get you a look at the lineups here today for these 2 sides. For Goons, it is Piku, Roger, Kriketsi, and Lightning as the front 3. Viva and J Toro on defense with Finn Kona, the man between the pipes for them. For ZSC, it is Freeman, Original Snooze, the captain, and I dangled you out. Tony and Haldim on defense, Chich in goal. And then, of course, we get to the comparisons as we always do. We'll start off with the center matchup here between Snus and Kriketsi. And so far, I mean, decent for both of these centermen, I think, comes to mind in terms of these point totals.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we talked about how close this matchup is. I think we're going to kind of see that all the way down throughout the head-to-heads as well. So when people are matched up this closely, you got to look for the outliers. And right now, it's that differential in face-offs. Kriketsi doing the much better job of that so far this season with the 53% on the draws. And Snus, I mean, losing the amount of draws like that, it depends on where they are. If he's losing them consistently in the offensive zone or the defensive zone, that can really create some issues for his team. So the neutral zone ones don't matter as much. Obviously, possession is very important, but I think I would argue at times in NHL 22, it's been less important here than it has been in previous editions of NHL.
I certainly wouldn't disagree, actually, at this stage. I think that's been one of the developing kind of stories we've seen this season. We move over to the winger battle. Again, it is Piku Roger and Lightning for Goons Freeman. And I dangled you out, Alex, of course, back with this team after departing for a little bit. Now, it was one of those things, in that heading into the season as well, we've kind of talked about it. We look back to those original lineups, and Freeman wasn't originally kind of factored into the ideal front three. It was Berkadal, who we also saw play quite a bit last season. But Freeman as well impressed during his time with this club last season as well.
Mhm.
So hardly a bad option either way. And as you can see, Freeman, I mean, 14 points in 10 games hasn't been out of place. But on the flip side, of course, you have to deal with the reigning Rookie of the Year in Pika Roger and Leighton, who's been one of the better pickups this season in terms of transferring to a new team.
Yeah, I think this is the point where you can kind of see a bit of the separation going really because Freeman's in there, and of course Piku Raja just kind of even a step ahead of everyone here, including his own teammate in Lighton in there. But we have seen ZSC be able to kind of work some magic, especially on broadcast as well. And I mean, speaking of magic, earlier on this season, dangled you out. Had to play goaltender for his team and actually notched himself a shutout. So with ZSC, you really never know what you're gonna get. They're just kind of like this ultimate hype train where once they get rolling, there sometimes there's just no stopping them.
The defensive battle here now as well. Again, for Goons, it is Viva and Jay Toro. Again, Tony and Haldium on the other side. And Sin, maybe not what you would expect based off of the, I don't want to say the name value, but in a sense, like you look at that Goons pairing, it's like, oh yeah, they'll probably have more points at this stage of the season. That
Mhm.
is not the case.
It really isn't, and it's a little bit curious. I really kind of feel like perhaps it's a bit of Jay Toro adjusting to not only the new team but the new side of the ice as well. Remember he always had been on the left hand side of the ice for so long. I mean, that's not uh, often an easy adjustment, especially when you're switching handedness for the optimization of those one timers. It also could be that maybe he's trying to play a bit more shutdown as well, or perhaps both of them are trying to kind of do a bit more shutdown because, as we saw, Goons goal forward goals against differential not exactly great, and it's been a rare occasion when we've seen two defensemen on the opposing side both outscoring Jay Toro, but there they are, Tony and Haldeem, both with pretty solid point percentages.
And of course, the goaltending battle as well. Again, it is Finn Kona against Chich. And Sin, I'd argue neither goalie probably where they want to be at this stage of the season in terms of, at the very least, save percentage.
Yeah, and again, we always talk about you want to get to around that 80% mark, and so they're going to have to work on that with their team as well. It's got to take all six guys on the ice working towards that defensive thing. It's both of these are definitely capable goaltenders. They maybe just need to give it that little bit of step up. Their teammate needs to help them just a little bit more, and if they just get, like we said, that 80% save percentage, that could catapult them into that playoff position.
Worth noting as well, you see just the 12 games played for Chich. 6 games from Mr. Bourbon, the Bourbon. Also a similar save percentage, but also I dangled you out. Of course, playing right wing for them today. Has 2 games between the pipes this season, Sin.
Hmm.
93.33 save percentage. So
Yeah.
they've they've bounced around a little bit in terms of the availability in goal, but I dangled you out, certainly doing everything for the ZSC esports team so far this season. So again, massive points up for grabs for both of these teams. And again, you see some what all the teams happen to be playing for here again in our split season format. Of course, this is week 4 of our winter season. Getting very close to the playoffs, but our spring season coming up before you know it. Then, of course, the grand final as well. So, a lot of cash up for grabs here. And again, these two teams, is it out of the, especially for a team like Goons, it's not out of the realm of possibility heading into the season that a 4th place finish, was a realistic spot for them to be.
No, and I kind of think it still could be. I mean, it's a bit tougher now, especially with the way all the top teams have sort of been panning out, and it's been so busy up there. Like, I could see maybe still a 6 or a 5 slot panning out for them, because again, they have a couple less games played. If they do well in this series here, I mean, they're at that 10-5-3 record, and it's really, they're not too far off.
So it is ZSC, of course, in the home blues, and Goons in the road whites. The action underway. Again, as we mentioned, valuable points up for grabs here. Again, week 4 of the ECL Elite Division season, brought to you by our friends at Wilhelm, Govan Lakritzi, and ST Hockey. As the puck dumped into the far side, Jay Toro being pressured here, and not sure what happened there with Snooze, but just wasn't able to get a stick on the puck. Here's Piku Raja, has that one poked away. Of course, wearing the golden helmet as his team's leading scorer. Snus, the captain for ZSC, has one as well. Here's Freeman. Pass over for Dangle Duo. Always want to just go with Alex or Wagner. To be honest, it's much shorter. Good chance in front there. Freeman just not able to get the most of that opportunity. Bit too much traffic surrounding him. Good forechecking pressure. Viva able to withstand it. That puck bounces around. Leitonen tried to find Piku Roger. Haldane was there to take it away. Great outlet pass. Freeman here. A little bit of space. The spin, the pass intercepted by Jay Toro.
Yeah, I think he and Dangled You Out got a little bit crossed up right there as they tried to switch. Gave Goons a bit too much time to get into that collapse right there.
As the wraparound bid for Piku Roger doesn't go, it was interrupted, and Chich is able to find that. But he does have to freeze it, and they'll have a face-off.
Yeah, not too bad of a start for either of these two teams. I'd say, not surrendering an early goal is very important for both of them. Again, once I wouldn't say they're both not used to those kind of, back and forth kind of shootout type games, but I'm sure both of them would kind of prefer a more controlled approach, get themselves an advantage, and try to work things around as they are fighting their way into the playoffs. They also want to prepare for playoff hockey, which is a much, much tighter game.
Option there. Snus just couldn't get ahead of Jay Toro. That one paddled away. And Sin, you mentioned it's one thing to make the playoffs. It's another thing to finish in one of those, really one of the bottom 2 to 3 spots. But then again, we look at the top of this division. I don't know if any of the top 4 teams are someone you'd want to face in round 1.
Yeah, probably not. It's definitely kind of a scary prospect. But I mean, as you said, we've seen upsets before. And look at ZSC down low, trying to kind of jam it in right there on Fincona.
Both teams kind of looking for those wraparound bids. Kriketsi, pass in front, picked off by Tony. And it's Freeman, his pass. A little bit off target. Piku Roger for Goons, trying to step his way through. We've seen it before. Finds a way to just dangle through an entire team. Doesn't happen on that occasion. Good stick work there by Snooze, and now it is ZSC going down the other way. And down to the ice in some instances. Freeman along that half wall. Bumped off by Jay Toro. Already just 5 minutes remaining here in the first period. We have Jay Toro still in the attacking zone for his team. Can't hold on to it. Haldane. Good patience. Secondary pressure, though. You had Piku Roger getting into the face of the defender, then all of a sudden Kriketsi steps up. Very little space to work with on the breakout so far for ZSC. Piku Roger gets absolutely decked. Sin, I swear he's had a target on his back all season long. This one goes back out to the neutral zone. Piku Roger. Again, last season's Rookie of the Year. Since we've been tracking that, joining the likes of Nicky Dangles and FaZe. A lot to live up to for him this year. And he's done so. At least to this point of the season. Viva will send that one all the way back. Fincona, nervous moment, plays it though. The pass from Viva to Piku Roger. Takes the trip. I was going to say takes the hit, but he is tripped. And Sin, we will see that Goons power play go to work.
Yeah, I don't blame you for saying takes the hit. I feel like that was a good opportunity to lay the hit. He went for the poke, then kind of held that stick out in front, thinking Piku Roger would just kind of run into it with the puck. Instead, he ran into it with his feet, and that will put Goons on the power play here, which they haven't had an impressive power play so far this season, to say the least, but we'll see if they can get it going here. Shot from the point. Swallowed up by Chich.
Good save there, too. That's so tough to track in that instance. You never know. I mean, really, at least 3 options at that play, right? I mean, they can shoot it, they can pass it into the slot, or go up high. Good job by Chich to make that save. Snus wins the draw, sends it up and over. Clock a little bit slower than it normally is, but still a bit too fast for what Goons would prefer. Piku Roger, his pass. Disrupted, 5 seconds now. Lightning stuck on the backhand. Tony will send it over the glass.
Oh, no.
A rough penalty to take with 2.9 on the clock. And there you see it's in clear over. No
Yeah,
debate.
that's a penalty. Yeah, you gotta have slightly better clock awareness, I think, in that situation. He didn't necessarily have to shoot it up high off the boards or really shoot it out of the zone at all. As you mentioned, there's just a few seconds left. Just gotta kind of hold on to the puck right there.
And a nervous moment at the end, but ZSC survive. It will be a brief 5-on-3 to begin the second period, but we are still goalless through this one as we get a look at the amazing truculence, actually, shockingly.
Yeah.
Not the elite edges of I dangled you out.
Yeah. Accurate replay. I love to see it. Yeah, that was a bit dangerous there at the end. I mean, getting the face off where they did really presented a nice opportunity for Goons to try to capitalize off of a quick chance. But yeah, I mean, the kind of the bright spot for ZSC here is that they do have the period break. They get to start the face-off in the neutral zone. So the 5-on-3, that already kind of, will take a little bit more time for Goons to get set up. So if you do have to kill a 5-on-3, it is better to split it up between 2 periods here, but probably not the start that ZSC would have wanted to see. And if Goons are able to kind of get the momentum here and be able to score, not only will that, boost their power play percentage up, but that'll make them feel better about their power play, feel good about the offense, and feel good about playing with the lead.
So here we go. Second period underway. A minute's worth of 5-on-3 time as Piku Roger, a little bit too far up into the play. Still has it here. Loose puck. Urketzi on the short side. Circles back. Lighten in for Piku Roger. Good block by Freeman. He can't clear the zone. Viva and Jay Toro working together. Big pass. Big blocker save by Chich to deny Piku Roger. Another shot thrown on, blocked by Freeman. One man out of the box, trying to get back into the play. Freeman can't get it down again. Urketzi takes the hit, still has the puck. Pass broken up. Freeman finally clears. Third time is the charm, and ZSC Sin will survive this penalty kill scare. But a rush for Goons perhaps down the other way while they still try to get organized. Snus can't hold on to it. Piku Roger for Urketzi. Another good save by Chich. Piku Roger sending that one down and around. Contested, won by Freeman. Let's see if Dangled You Out can live up to the name. Likes to keep it simple. Just bumped off the puck by Viva. Goons now. That power play percentage getting a little bit worse. As Sin mentioned in the pregame, maybe not where they'd want it to be so far this season. Lighten, that one intercepted as well. And Sin, so far, so good for ZSC in terms of their defensive coverage. Snus with a bit of space. Tried the short side. They score! I dangled you out, finding the puck on the rebound. And how's that from 5-on-3 to scoring the first goal of this game here early in the second period and maybe a controversial no goalie interference call?
Yeah, it was a pretty large bump onto the goaltender Finn Kona there, but ZSC again just kind of capitalized off a rush opportunity. Didn't look like a whole lot was going to come for it, but they put the puck on the net. The follow-up opportunity went in, and it seemed like at that point, I was just going to say, Goons really have the momentum now. Even though they didn't score on the power play, they got chances. They're built off that. They're getting zone time, and just like that, ZSC comes back the other way and scores to completely kill any sort of momentum Goons had.
So a big moment there for ZSC getting the first goal of this game. Still a long way to go. They try the quick out. Snus will not win the race. Decent play, though. Viva all over that one.
Yeah, I like that coming out from ZSC. It was kind of, almost a mistake of an errant pass back in their end and decided to try to kind of turn something into it. Maybe they could catch Goons napping, thinking that, oh, okay, they're going to have to reset.
Off the draw to ZSC in control again. Here's Freeman over the line. Likes to go down low. The wrap bit. Actually, it might have been a pass. I'm surprised it wasn't the wraparound opportunity. As Viva carries that one in for Goons. Contested still has it. Poked away. And again, Goons will be forced to reset. Changes to their lineup this season. Still, we expected them to be right back where they are. And another trip coming up here. Well, we had one for the right defender in Haldeem. This one for Tony. Second penalty of the game, though, after taking one right at the end of the first period.
Yeah, not a bad attempt right there with the defensive skill set. It's just that spinorama was so perfectly timed to try to guard the puck and get around him on the boards that his stick ended up finding the feet right there. So they're gonna have to kill off yet another penalty here.
And 0 for 2, 2 shots for Goons so far in this game, as Snus will clear that one out. It's Freeman giving chase, the chop up the wall. See what Goons can do now with a little bit of speed. Great poke check there. Sin, what can't Mr. Dangle do outdo? He's played goal this season and done quite well. He is a phenomenal goal scorer for his team, and the defensive efforts are there as well. Pass in front. Chich kicks that one out. I think he wanted the cover, but still, the result not too bad. Freeman able to get that one out of the zone with 30 seconds to go on this power play. And again, Piku Roger gets decked. Here's Snus in a little bit of space. Likes to hold on to it, trying to kill a bit of time. He's bumped off by Leitinen. We are nearly back to 5-on-5. There we go. Now 0 for 3, the Goons power play. Which, of course, included a 5-on-3 to begin this period. ZSC continuing to try to play the body. Piku Roger tried to sweep back to the forehand. Knocked away. Double team pressure. And it's Haldeem trying to clear that one out. Can't hold on to the puck. Piku Roger for Leitinen. Goons into the attacking zone. That shot blocked by the traffic in front. Kirketsi for Piku Roger. Leitinen, big save by Chich. And another, but it sneaks in. Goons have tied it at 1 apiece. Heartbreaking for Chich. A couple of big saves, and then that one just sneaks in.
Yeah, it's Kirketski who will get credit with that goal right there. And yeah, you said it right for Chich. He made a couple good saves, and that one was just kind of trickling in. You could see him doing everything he could, even kind of sliding over, hoping that his pad would hit it, keep it out. That's just something that, as a goaltender, you can't do a whole heck of a lot about when that puck's just kind of trickling in. It's just up to fate at that point. And Goons have tied this one up at 1.
Moment there for Leitinen. Good save. Fortunately, Sid, that's been one of the things within the goaltending community. If I'm not mistaken, don't remember if it was Smelly or not, from the NA community posting a compilation of goals just like that happening to go in, where I think a lot of goalies would argue they shouldn't, but that is the state of the game at the moment. We are tied at 1, and nearly it was a 2-1 lead for Goons. We have 2.5 minutes to play here in the second. Still plenty of time for either team to grab the advantage, and a risky play out had that pass been on target might have resulted in a counterattack. ZSC doing a good job to recover defensively.
Yeah, again, I think he might have been trying to go for Dangled You Out, who's kind of streaking up the middle, only had one man to beat, and he did kind of have an angle on him, so he may have been able to, dangle him out right there, but unfortunately the pass kind of got stuck between two guys, and it didn't make it to the target.
Final 6.7 seconds now as the clock stops with the offside. Again, still a little bit of time on the clock. Never rule these teams out. And in terms of being able to get a late goal. On the draw, Goons in possession. Viba for Leitinen. Piku Roger to Kirketsi. Back to Viba, misses on the glove side. What a great chance at the end of the second period. It's in 1-1 heading into the third, as we'll get a look here at the initial goal. And, maybe 2 controversial goals. Best way to view it, perhaps, it all kind of evens out.
Yeah, definitely kind of each team getting a bit of a break, if you could call it that. But, I mean, I'm sure both of them will take it in the same respect there. But, yeah, it's that last rush play from Goons, it was really nice. It was pretty passing play, and it was nearly perfectly timed. Viba, the shot got off in time, just missed the net, but the buzzer didn't sound till after that one had already banked off the backboards right now. So a very, very close call at the end. Goons have had a couple of those. It seems like they have really kind of good clock management. They kind of know exactly how much time they have to pull certain stuff off, and those are the kind of little details that will benefit a team in the playoffs, in those sort of clutch situations. But they do have, again, I still feel like their power play needs a lot of work. I like the first one. They got some chances on it. They didn't capitalize, but, eventually getting chances and getting close just isn't good enough. Eventually, you're going to have to capitalize on those chances, or else other teams simply are not going to be afraid to take penalties against you. They're going to poke and stick lift at will, and that'll kind of present a bit harder opportunities for you to get into that offensive zone and play the sort of offensive style that you want to play without that threat.
That off the pads of Chich. Good look there. Third period underway. Next goal could very well win this with how contested it's been. We do still have a long way to go. Good defense there from Goons. Here's Viva stepping up into the play once again. And momentarily, that was a good step up by Haldeem. Sent around. Haldeem is there. Has a couple of options here. Likes to take the shot. It's blocked. Rebound opportunity. Not a rebound, but a second chance opportunity for Snoose. That one went off the legs of a defender. That was a good save. Pika Roger in behind. Tried the short side. Couldn't get all the shot. Pass in front. Now back to the point. D to D. Kick save by Chich. He'll play it out. They want the counter. They've got it. Breakaway. Scores! ZSC regain the lead off of a phenomenal quick counterattack that starts from one end down to the other. Chich picking up the assist.
They do this so much, and they seemingly do it so well. Something out of nothing. Dangled you out. Gets in front of everyone, well, I'll call it the shot pass, because that's exactly what it was. Could not be corralled or cornered off by Diva or J Toro. And Dangled you out got in one-on-one on Fincona, who tried the flying poke check, but Dangled you out just kind of swept that one around him on the forehand and buried it. ZSC now up again by 1 goal.
A huge moment there for ZSC. Sim, you saw it a couple of times this game. Like, they tried that play, and still Goons caught off guard somewhat. I mean, it took Alex kind of dangling, literally living up to his namesake and splitting the difference there to find that space. But what a play. And a 2-1 lead as a result for ZSC. Again, their second season here in the Elite Division. They certainly look more comfortable this time out. Here, an opportunity there on a glove save by Chich, as we had Viva dangling his way into the slot. You see the willingness, too, for the defense to step up for Goons. It is generating offensive chances.
Absolutely, and that's got to be a huge part of their game when they have Viva and J Toro back there.
And they scramble for the puck. Kriketsi will come up with it. Pass across, big save, and gloved out of the air by Chich. So despite the goal against, he has looked incredibly solid back there so far.
Yeah, I was just going to say, he's having to make some pretty big saves, at least, positionally wise. He's looking solid. He's, making the easy saves. He's made a couple tougher ones as well, but
another big save there. The loose puck just kind of finding its way to a high danger area. And still, Chich is all over it. Snoose drops off for a Tony. He steps in, back in front, scores! Defense to offense one more time. The dangerous counterattack strikes. The captain makes it 3-1.
Original Snoose. I mean, that's just what a pass right there. Just the tiniest bit of space. There's 3 white jerseys around, but he found the smallest soft spot that he needed in ZSC. Taking it to Goons right now. Their counterattack game is so strong, and just Goons doesn't really have an answer for it right now. They're down by 2.
Maybe the best we've seen ZSC play on one of our broadcasts dating back to last season, but still halfway through this third period. We got a long way to go. Another big save there by Chich on a point-blank opportunity from Leitinen. I mean, Sin as well, one of the things that could potentially be a factor here. There's obviously been a lot of debate this season in terms of servers as well. I mean, I don't know exactly what the latency difference might be, but at the very least, CSC making the most of this home ice advantage.
Yeah, I think for them, it's like mostly if they can get warmed up for it. And that's kind of their biggest thing. I mean, usually when you're used to a ping, you can sort of play off it, as we see a huge shot coming up from Piku Raja there. Simply doesn't capitalize. We may have to hold this point for another time.
Oh, stangled you out, though, unfortunately. Just one button press too many results in the icing.
Yeah, so back on the topic, ZSC obviously in the Central European server. So when their whole argument is when they warm up, unless they can scrim with someone, they're playing teams that are in the lower division. So is it really, the best warm up possible for them? They're used to the ping, sure, but they're playing against competition which isn't quite up to par of the elite division. So it's a bit tougher to then jump in against an elite opponent and, be up to speed.
Well, very much up to speed here in this game, and again, as opposed to like a Swedish-Finnish matchup where that difference might not be that drastic. But then again, Sin, the drastic difference to these guys, as we've talked about, for us on the North American side, we often have to laugh anything over 12 ping, and these guys like, man, I don't know. And then we sit here, and it's like, yeah, if we play together, you're on 80 minimum. It's just one of those differences that we have here. But of course, it's about these guys wanting to play at the top level, and ZSC are playing at the top level. The spin, and perhaps dangling himself out, taking away a shot opportunity. And now here's Pika Roger on the other side, steps in. That one's broken up. It's tough to live up to a name like I dangled you out if you if you don't get a shot on goal, I do suppose.
Yeah, I feel like he might have been looking for the pass right there and just simply ran out of space. Not too sure.
Here we go. He's going to have the puck again. He has a chance. Jay Toro trying to catch up. That pass broken up. Second chance shoveled off the side of the goal. Final minute. ZSC a 3-1 lead here in the third period against Goons. Kirketzi in front. That one sent down. Freeman will win the race to this. No, he won't. Fincona plays it, turns it over, and it's broken up. The shot opportunity at the empty net, and the defense was able to bail Fincona out. I believe Fincona indeed going to the bench. He is out there, 6-on-5 in favor of Goons. Dangled you out, tries to make his way to the wall to help protect the puck. A scramble for it. Goons have it again. Here's Viba broken up. 25 seconds to go. Chopped over to the half wall. Jay Toro, loose puck in front. Big hit. It's kept in by Fincona. Shot on, save by Chich with 14 seconds to go.
I mean, Goons really just pouring it all on, throwing literally everything at the wall. In this case, the wall was the net. Unfortunately, nothing was sticking, and Chich able to make the saves that he needed to.
Here's Viba, the shot. Save again by Chich. Loose puck. Shipped up to, oh man, what a pass that was. I got caught off guard. The backhand blocked. A 3-1 victory in favor of the ZSC Esports squad here. What a win against maybe the most complete performance we have ever seen from them on a broadcast. And honestly shocking they didn't score on the empty net there a couple of times.
Yeah, I think Freeman was going to slow up because he figured I dangled you out was going to take it in the zone. So you're right. The incredible just ability to get that pass through even fooled his own teammate by the looks of it. But they're going to take that W nonetheless. A huge, huge 3-1 victory for them. Lots of credit going to Chich right there. He played very, very well, making some really big saves. But it's that counterattack of ZSC that always seems to impress me. I don't ever expect it coming, and it's seemingly they're always looking for it. And they always kind of have one of those wingers higher in the zone, whether it's Freeman or it's dangled you out. They always kind of have one lurking there and somehow not even really getting picked up by the defense so often. Viba, Jay Toro, we know, they have the offensive mind, but they're no slouches on the defensive end. It's just somehow this CSC team keeps sneaking forward out there and hiding them sort of, in the weeds, waiting, and they're able to get around them in two huge ways. I mean, that kind of contributed to 2 of the goals by ZSC was that kind of a forward ready to leave the zone early and create chances going back the other way. Obviously, we saw the breakaway goal from Dangled out, and then that first rush opportunity sort of came from an odd man like that. And towards the end, where Goons had to, open themselves up way, way more to the counterattack, ZSC didn't stop. They weren't going to shell up defensively. They were going to keep looking for that dagger. So great performance from ZSC. And yeah, that was an 18 save performance off 19 shots for Chich. Goons were throwing everything at the net, and he was making those saves.
And that was the one to go into that was a little bit fluky. But as we said, that first goal for ZSC, maybe there should have been a goalie interference call to cancel that one out. But look at that. Again, the big goal holds up as the winning goal for I dangled you out. And then again, the insurance marker here from Snus in the third period. Tony had a couple of rough penalties in that one. Somebody makes up for it with that pass.
That was such a good pass right there. Just perfectly timed. As I said, there's 3 white jerseys around Original Snus who got into that soft spot, partially because of his skating, but also the pass was perfectly timed. The reason he got that shot off was because that pass was perfectly timed, perfectly placed, and ZSC, that's a huge game for them as they work their way above 500 now to 10-9-2 and that much closer to a potential playoff seeding.
Absolutely. Again, the second game between these two coming up in just a matter of moments. We'll set the stage for you here after a quick word from our sponsors, so don't go anywhere. There's still more action to come.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
Loistava vapauttava syöttö ja sen jälkeen ollaan karkumatkalla. Minkälaisia ratkaisuja tulee? Tämän kaverin nimittäin on ollut todella kylmän viileä näissä paikoissa. Kilven räpylän puolelle kummalle tulee liikkuvat taakse kiekkomaali! Ja Wilhelm jälleen kerran nakkikioskille. Smokey Bites ja Snacks ovat tuoneet hienosti lisää leveyttä Wilhelm joukkueeseen.
All right, we are back again. A big thank you for sticking with us. Big thank you to Wilhelm, Kovalon Lakritsi, and ST Hockey, of course, for sticking with us this season as well. Now, again, Sin, throughout these broadcasts, not only do we pay attention to the action that we get to cover, also like to keep an eye on what goes on around the league, of course, around this division, because, again, as much as we talk about the games that we cover changing the playoff picture, there's a lot more to it. And if we do get a look at the latest results here, I hope it is filtered in, because I saw a result on Twitter, and there you go. IQ pulling off the double over Havu in an off-broadcast matchup. How about that one?
Incredibly impressive. I mean, Havu was really kind of making a run right there and really pushing themselves back up, but IQ have really kind of been making a statement for themselves in the season, and to take the double off of Havu right there is incredibly impressive. A 1-0 shutout in that second game. Wow.
Absolutely. Now, we haven't gotten to see Havu that much this season. We did cover their their matchup against Sawo that went in favor of Sawo. Of course, we'll see them in action next week on broadcast, I do believe, taking on Frölunda. So very excited for that rivalry to continue. Speaking again of Frölunda, how about that yesterday, Sin? I mean, a 7-0 victory, but then Gordon beat him 2-1 in overtime for arguably the biggest upset of the season. Just so many twists to the tail of this season at this stage. It just keeps changing. You never know what to expect on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, and I mean, you take a look there, Sabo taking the double over Feriestad, who I believe were for a while like right next to each other in the standings, and it's just getting crazy right here. So we're seeing a lot more separation, and I keep saying it every time I see it, Sabo have a good performance, but yeah, they are simply the real deal. I think they've beaten enough of these top teams, or at least had the performances, taking a game off of some of these top teams to really to be able to say like they are for real. And man, I mean, what a crazy breakout season for them, and what a crazy breakout season for that roster, who I don't think really any of them we ever kind of had in that upper echelon of some of the elite players, but they're having some tremendous seasons.
Absolutely, and I mean, now for Havu, I mean, they're still hanging around third, fourth place at this stage, but again, with how competitive this division is, we don't really know what to expect and where these teams are going to end up being by the end of the season. And that brings us, of course, to prepping for the second matchup against ZSC and Goons. One more game coming up here, and of course, a little bit later on in this broadcast, Feriestad will be in action against H-Reds. Very much looking forward to that one. So, Sin, heading into this matchup, then, obviously there will be the difference. It'll be a Goons home game, which matters, I'd say, a little bit more than what it typically would with some of these matchups. I mean, they had good opportunities, but ZSC played a near perfect game. I mean, defensively, Chich, had a lot of help in front. I mean, there weren't too many crazy scrambling moments where, the netminder would have had to have been, maybe trying to anticipate chances before they happen, which often results in, getting beat short side on some of those opportunities. Like, it was just such a solid defensive game that despite Chich facing a decent amount of pressure, what'd you say, 17 of 18? Or something
18
along
of
those
19.
lines?
Yeah, 18
there you
of
go.
19.
It's one of those things where it's just, you give up a lot of shots, but if that defense is on point, good things can happen. Makes me wonder what we see from Goons here.
Yeah, we didn't see the thing that I noticed is we didn't see a lot of tough follow-up opportunities. There wasn't like those second, third chances or Goons getting the puck back and keeping it in. Besides on that power play, really, it was always ZSC would often get to the puck and then they'd throw it out to add them some crazy breakout pass and, kind of start some pressure back the other way where Goons had to sort of rush back into it. And that's good for them. Getting through those loose pucks early is a big advantage. And again, we'll see what kind of the situation is with the slight server advantage switch. But I mean, I don't know if it makes that much of a difference. I think it really comes down to ZSC's their presence, their positioning, and then they were kind of always wanting to do that counterattack. And I almost feel like that made Goons hesitate at times to jump on those low spots or commit too many guys down low, because there's always that threat of a couple forwards streaking out of the zone.
Absolutely, and I think too a factor that we didn't really get to talk about too much in terms of these teams, they're both physical.
Mhm.
ZSC though, most hits in the league heading into the action today, over
Wow.
300. And an interesting one there too, where you know we saw the penalties kind of come into play as well, but I think that Goons power play is also kind of a struggle. It ended as, I do believe, one of the worst power plays, or kind of middle of the road at the very least.
I mean,
If I'm
yeah,
not mistaken. I don't want to say for sure on those numbers
it's
because I don't know.
7%,
I
and
don't know
they're
if
the
it was
second
though, based
worst.
off of the
Oh,
graphic, which is kind of what I was alluding towards. I wanted to make sure because we had that other graphic as well, and I don't remember if those numbers lined up. So,
okay.
regardless, one of those things though, where ZSC, that aggressiveness in terms of the physicality wasn't exactly what led them into penalty trouble in that first game. If you think about
Yeah.
it, it was more so just kind of getting a bit too jumpy. I mean, obviously they had a delay of game penalty, but also 2 tripping calls.
Yeah, that's kind of that could get them into trouble. They didn't pay for it against Goons, but I got to say that first Goons power play really looked good, and they carried momentum over from that. The only thing that stopped it was that counterattack goal from ZSC. But if again, if Goons can just figure out ways to capitalize on those opportunities, then that gives them such an advantage, especially going up against a team like ZSC who took penalties in bunches.
Absolutely. So again, there you see, of course, the second game coming up between Goon and ZSC, as mentioned, Färjestad and H-Reds coming up in just a matter of moments, a little bit later on, actually. I mean, it depends on how long you describe a moment to be, I do suppose. Sin, very much ready for this one. Excited to see how this one is going to play out. Again, it will be Goons in the home red jerseys, ZSC in their road whites. Let's see how this one plays out. Goon's going to be looking for a hot start here, and they get it! 48 seconds into the period. Goons on the board. It's Leitinen.
Wow. Just like that, immediately he capitalizes on that. It looked like as Chich was trying to slide over, he got animated and slid even farther. I think that's what happened right there. Nonetheless, I mean, Leitinen just capitalizing on that. That's exactly the kind of start that Goons would want in this scenario. What a start.
Incredible work there, and a great start indeed for Goons. Good way to send a message, scoring less than a minute into the game. CSC going to look to work the dump and chase there on the far side. Great job by Pika Roger to just stand still and run interference. He takes down Haldim, has the pass to Leitinen, moves into the middle, couldn't dangle around Tony though. Now it's Tony finding, I dangled you out, over for Snoose, around the back of the net, the captain, wraparound bid, gets absolutely floored. It'll take him a second to get back to his feet. He's got an injury there as well. It's Pika Roger, around the back of the net, poked away. Kriketsi there with him, trying to hold on to it. Leitinen gets it back, and another pass. Banks off the skates of a defender. Kriketsi in front, couldn't pull the trigger on the shot. Good stretch pass there up to Tony. That shot rebound and handled by Fincona, who plays it out. Maybe a little bit of redemption that they're looking for after that last game.
Yeah, I think they got to be feeling it right now. And, just want to keep that play moving. Oftentimes, when you feel like you have the momentum, you don't want that whistle to blow.
As this one poked away from Jay Toro. Good recovery, but he couldn't hold the zone. Close call for both teams there. Here's Viba. That pass intercepted. Snus knocked off the puck by Piku Roger. Jay Toro has that one poked away. Goes all the way back to the Goons defensive zone. I dangled you out. The good forechecking pressure. Tony trying to keep that one in for ZSC. That shot blocker save, and the rebound out to the right. And unfortunately, a buffered shot for Freeman that he couldn't opt out of. Viba trying to hold this one. Jay Toro there to assist. He's knocked off the puck. Here's Snus stepping up with speed. Stuck on the backhand. One-timer save. Rebound save again. Fincona. Great stop by the veteran goaltender.
Massive save right there on the rebound as that was dangled you out coming from the side. That was just a great kind of play from ZSC. The shot from the point and people crashing the net for the rebounds dangled you out. It really feels like, I'm sure he feels like he should have had a goal right there, but Finn Kona's reaction, perfect in getting back and getting a pad on that one.
The big face-off coming up here. Intrigued to see what the results were, by the way. We always run the predictions in chat. A little bit too late to vote in on this one, but of course, sure to get those votes in. Stack up those points. Be the best. Is what we have. I dangled you out up to Freeman. Snus jumps the line. You can see why he thought there might have been a pass there, though.
Yeah, absolutely. You never kind of quite know here, and we did have a split of 91-9 in favor of Goons for the prediction in this match. I'm not too sure if people are, saying that they just believe in Goons that much, or if they think, maybe they just kind of struggled in the last game.
That shot is blocked. Viba around the back of the net, maybe influenced as well by the early goal. I believe the voting was still up at the time of that goal. As we have another offside here. 5:55 to go in the first period. Again, a 3-1 victory for ZSC in the first game. In regular season matchups, home and home series. Saldean send that one over to the far side. Gets it back still on that left-hand side, stepping up, trying to lead that one all the way home. Snus takes the hit. Much better defensive effort from Goons here so far, making those zone entries a little bit more difficult. ZSC having to get pretty creative. That pass, unfortunately, just ended up on the wrong side of the blue line. Saldean nowhere to go. Big stretch pass off the boards will be an icing. That's one way to get a zone entry if you're ZSC.
Yeah, they're struggling to kind of get it in cleanly there from the neutral zone presence. Without that kind of counterattack, it allows Goons to sort of set up and really prevent them from getting in. But we'll see what they do here, losing that face-off, unfortunately. And here comes Goons, 3-on-1.
See what they can do. Lightning, pass across, broken up by the defense. Good work there in recovery. Again, Lightning the goal. Just 48 seconds into this game. Tony's pass back, taken away by Kriketsi. It's Viba for Lightning, poked away, another offside call. We're in the final minute of the first.
Yeah, much different pace to this first than it was in the last game, especially those first two periods just seemed like they flew by at times. This one a bit more kind of calculated for both teams. I think that maybe puts Goons in a bit more of a comfort zone. I think they like to play a little bit more controlled.
Great job to win that one here. Freeman for Snus to the point, and that was an interesting shot that was stopped. 4 seconds to go. And that will do it. So a 1-0 lead for Goons based off of a very early goal. We'll get another look here, though, at the physicality that Mr. I Dangled You Out brings to this lineup. And, oof, is all I can say. Oof.
Yeah, I mean, that was 4 hits in that period for him, if my eyes didn't deceive me. I mean, definitely throwing his weight around. Again, we talked about how physical that ZSC likes to play, and that, it could be a huge thing, especially when you like to counterattack like that. Like, one big hit can create a lot of interesting opportunities, especially if you, injure a player and they're, kind of got some attributes lowered for the 5 minutes or so. It's can really kind of present some good opportunities for you, especially on the counterattack, which we know what they like to do. Is they're taking a look at a poke, which the person recovered just after and was able to get that shot away. And so I believe this is the first goal. That was just a pass. Oh, okay. I see what happened there. Is like a lot of stick lifts, and I think he thought the pass was coming to the short side right there, because I honestly think that's what Goons player looked like he was going to try to do, but then saw the goaltender slide, ended up taking a shot after all those stick lifts went off. So that's how that first goal went in.
Second period underway here. In the 1-0 lead for Goons. Let's see what ZSC can do to respond. Dangled You Out has that one knocked away from him. It is Viba. Again, I believe the youngest player in the Elite Division. If he's not, I'd be shocked. ZSC trying to get things going down the other way. And a shot on is stopped. Goons able to take that away. Sim, we mentioned it in that first game. ZSC not giving up too many secondary chances. I think that's the name of the game right now in favor of Goons.
Yeah, it's exactly what they're doing here is the skitter to a dangerous location there. They have to be a bit careful on Fincona, but yeah, and I mean, here comes the ZSC forecheck though. Wait a second.
Freeman just trying to fire that one in no matter what. It's the only play to make. Speaker Roger, pass in front, still bouncing around. Lighted in, went for the pass. Thought, honestly, he could have picked the corner there. Chich was adjusting. Haldeem has that one knocked away. Speaker Roger takes the hit. Snus takes the puck. Can't get that pass in front. Jay Toro there to save the day. Here's Freeman now, though, getting it back. ZSC trying to keep that pressure on. Snus, the one-timer from distance. And a good stop by Fincona. Back to the point. Ooh. Tony has it knocked away by Pika Roger. Counterattack here for Goons. Pika Roger dangles around. Loose puck still there. And knocked away by the defender. Here comes ZSC now. Down the other way. And again, these counterattack bids very much snuffed out early on here with one poke check.
Yeah, there's a nice little sequence from ZSC who they're able to keep it in the zone for a while, but then along came Piku Roger who just stopped it in its tracks, and we just can see how dangerous he is with the puck and probably why people are targeting him with the physicality. If you just kind of let him skate around, kind of dance on you, he can create chances all by his lonesome.
There's another offside call here for Goons. 9:03 remaining in the second period. Again, week 4 action of the ECL Elite Division as we see a hit there. Taking down Jay Toro, maybe a little bit roughed up on the play, and indeed, he'll be dealing with an injury as well. We'll see how that potentially affects him. Again, sportsgamer.gg for all the information that you need to follow along here, not only with the Elite Division, but everything else that we have going on in the ECL and more, as Leitinen has that one taken away. Gonna goal 48 seconds into this one. It's been the only one that we've seen so far. As Snus drops for Tony. Tony shot, nearly picked the corner. Just missed. It was a great look by the defenseman, though. Jay Toro sends it around. Still battling for the puck. Leitinen. Great look over to Viba. Viba for Kirketsi. They are onside. Leitinen, the chance off the side of the goal. Viba just couldn't hold on to it. Trouble here. Viba's still there. Haldeem able to get that pass up. Here's dangled you out over the line. Has Snus with them down low. Delayed call on Goons. And it will be a ZSC power play.
Good chance for them to kind of get that goal that they have been craving for quite some time. And that will be Piku Roger going to the box, who was covering for Viva there on defense. He tried to kind of get aggressive, cut across with the body and get that stick out. Just ended up getting tangled up in some skates.
Absolutely. Here we go. And an interesting moment there from Freeman. Had it on the backhand, but had the pass in mind. Snow's back for Tony Haldeem. The one-timer stopped by Fincona. Tony again throws one on. Bounces out to the right. Thrown back in front by Haldeem and taken away by Viba. Here's Leitinen. Perhaps a shorthanded bid is what Goons have in mind. That one taken away after the contact. 45 seconds to go on the man advantage. Pass off the mark. Fincona will play it. Turns it over to Freeman. Can't pull the trigger. Tony has it now. Over for Snus. Looking. Shot just missed again. Trying to pick that blocker side corner. And Jay Toro is able to clear. That's got to be a frustrating moment there, Sin. ZSC, in my opinion, should have had a power play goal there. They might not be done, though. Dang it. Out the between the legs to Freeman, who got tangled up in front. Here's Freeman again. That one intercepted. Dangled you out again. Not able to shovel that one on. The angles are there. Shoot the puck. Eventually something's going to go in. Loose puck. Haldeem having trouble. That's Pika Roger for Kirketsi. Big save. And it's in again. Another heartbreaker. It was Jay Toro stepping in front over Kirketsi. The defenseman has the goal. And, man, I wouldn't want to be a goaltender in this game sometimes.
No, that is, again, good save, and it bounces off something and somehow goes underneath him when it looks like he's sitting on his rump right there. So kind of interesting how that one found its way in. And again, on the flip side here, it was ZSC right there with all the momentum after the power play, getting it done, and then out comes Goons, and they might be done. Jay Toro again.
Stepping in, scores! Why not double it up? Jay Toro makes it 3-0 with 8.7 remaining. Sin, how do you like that? 1 goal on the season entering play today is up to 3.
We mentioned it, Jay Toro not really having the points and the goals that we're used to seeing out of him. He gets 2 huge goals in this one, and I mean, what a way to get towards the end of this second period and have a commanding 3-0 lead. Hopefully going into third, unless ZSC are able to get something here, and Goons
We'll
took
have
a
a power
penalty.
play. Interference call coming up against Lighton, and we'll get a look at it. There was just a lot of traffic in front, and I guess maybe he thought someone would pick it up, so we'll see. I mean, a late goal would certainly help. Do they have enough time? 4.1. Let's see. Tie up off the draw, cleared out. Goons will carry a 3-0 lead into the third period. 2 goals from Jay Toro in the closing minutes in as we'll get a look at the third one here. But again, tough break for ZSC at this stage of the game.
Yeah, that was really tough for them. Again, that was just a situation where I feel like they had the momentum. Then Jay Toro was able to score off that kind of weird bounce, and then he keeps it going. You know, you maybe ZSC at that point are like, all right, let's try to just get that puck back in, get back to what we were doing. He makes an excellent poke at the line and just takes off on his own. It's just that's such a dangerous player is Jay Toro. We're gonna get a look at that goal. What a save! Oh no, yeah, it was off his own skate. Just with the animation that you can't do anything about. The puck hit his pad, was in between his arm, and it trickled down, and he knocks it in with his own skate. So yeah, it's a frustrating moment for goaltenders everywhere, I'm sure, who are all gritting their teeth at that one.
Yeah, there's not a goalie that plays either even competitively or just in normal ESHL that hasn't had that happen to them. And that's one that makes you question, what am I doing this for? But for these guys, I mean, the motivation's obviously there. Good block, and Kirketzi will recover. Poked away, though. Dangle do out back for Haldeem. Haldeem shot. Kick save Fincona. As Pico Roger is able to clear halfway now through this man advantage. ZSC, just some bad luck. It's honestly amazing they haven't had a goal yet.
They're sticking with it at least.
Yeah, at least one of those goals, of course, that we just talked about is there's been 2 of those, and it's tough to deal with. Pico Roger, the wraparound bid, good save. Nice shorthanded opportunity as we are back to 5-on-5. Dangle due out, makes the move. Shot from Snus. Fincona able to make the save on the post.
Yeah, but ZSC, I like how they're just sticking to it. They're continuing to throw those pucks on. They're continuing to get the chances that they want. I mean, the point shots, the deflections have looked good. The other shots, it's all looking good. Yeah, they probably should have had a goal, but if they keep this up, I can't see them not getting one at this rate.
The draw they do win the face-off. Dangle due out, can't get that shot off, though. Freeman to the point. Tony back for Freeman. D to D here. Haldeem looking, stepped in too far. And into the traffic. Trouble there for Kirketzi. Another errant pass for ZSC. Jay Toro takes the hit. Pico Roger trying to get a step on the defender. Pico Roger flying poke check. Loose puck, scores! But it is being waved off with the contact. Sin, let's get another look at this one.
That's brilliant. Number one, he kind of shoves Pico Roger off him by trying to stand up. Yeah, that one will not count. Pico Roger just kind of crashed into and was laying on Chich right there, so that will be called back. Very, very good for ZSC right there. That one stayed on side.
Yeah, tough to disagree with that goal being called off, but we have seen what we thought have been clear-cut goalie interference calls not result in it being waved off just over the past 24 hours as Freeman recovers this one. Can't get the shot off. Tried to go back to the point. It's intercepted by Pico Roger. ZSC running out of time. Down 3-0 in this one. Pico Roger's shot. They get deflected off of a man in front. Pico Roger again goes all the way around. Rocket pass. Doesn't benefit Goons in the short term, but long term, more time. Ticks off the clock as Jay Toro again on a brace here. 2 goals late in the period. He only had 1 goal, which is so unlike him and the the skill level we know he possesses to have just one goal through Goons' first 18 games of the season. There's Leitinen down low in the corner. Piku Roger behind the net. Good give and go. Piku Roger down low for Leitinen one more time. Back for Piku Roger. Tried to step in. Defense takes care of him. As Snus over the line. The captain for Haldeem. Again, runs into trouble with Leitinen. Seems to me ZSC, really trying to make sure they have a high-quality chance. Goons don't give many of those up. There is a delayed call. Tony for Haldeem. That one's blocked. One more power play, Sin. If there was going to be a comeback, it needs to start with a goal right here and right now.
Yeah, it really does, and we're kind of see, how good Goons can be on their counterattack pressure as well, and as they have been counterattacking, it's sort of going with more like, they are kind of getting some initial chances, but if it's not there, they're very content with sort of just setting it up in the zone as well. But this power play for ZSC, they have to score. See if they can get it going. Big face-off win by Kriketsi, but Tony doesn't let that go all the way down.
Crucial there to be able to keep that pressure on. Tony gains the zone. Pass over to Freeman. Snus, the defenders trying to get organized here. They were running into one another at the point. Snus for Tony. Haldeem, pass across. Great block. Second chance. Puck still alive. Piku Roger comes up with it and sends it all the way down.
CSC just
power play half over.
Couldn't get a handle on that puck right there. Is bouncing around the slot. Now they're running into each other as well.
Trouble there. They hold on to it. Snus has it at the point. Looking to open up a shooting lane, maybe. Hold on to it a bit too long. Dangled you out. Loses it. Here's Piku Roger. Good cut to the outside. We're back to 5-on-5. Piku Roger bumped off the puck for ZSC. Looks like their window of opportunity that they had. Huge hit there. And an offside call. They very much, and another hit there. It looks like they very much had a chance to potentially win this game, but I think that window of opportunity is closed.
I definitely think so too. It's just they unfortunately didn't capitalize earlier on some of those great chances that they're getting, and now they feel like they had to go for even higher quality ones, and Goons simply hasn't been giving it to them. This entire game, Goons have been taking that away, as you got a quick glimpse right there. I think that was about 29-30 ping, so not a huge difference between the central server and the Finnish server, I guess I'll call it. I'm not too sure the exact name, but yeah, it's really unfortunate for ZSC because, as you said, they probably should have had a goal, and then that one that kind of bounced off Chich. It's been some tough breaks, but again, same thing with Goons' power play in the first game. They had some great chances as well. They didn't score. Sometimes you just have to capitalize on your chances.
With under 5 minutes to go here now, again a reminder, not our only games of the day. Färjestad taking on H-Reds. Coming up here after a brief intermission between the series. Here's Piku Roger. Stepping into the zone. Leitinen has it. Back for Piku Roger. Around the back of the net here. Viba trying to hold on to that one. Can't do so. Goons, though, willing to keep up that pressure here. This one's going to go all the way down. 2 minutes to play. Be a good result here for both teams. 2 points each. Could certainly be worse. But still not as much as ZSC could have potentially earned today. Great save by Fincona. Keeps them off the scoreboard. Snus for Haldeem. It's broken up. Snus again has this. Tried to go across. Leitinen all over it. Looks to send it down. Haldeem's there to pick it off. Back into the zone. Dangled you out for Snus. Loses it. Haldeem looking at his options. Tries to get it in front. Again, broken up. 35 seconds to play. Tony's pass back for Snus. Tony again. That shot broken up. Finds its way to Piku Roger. Will do his due diligence and at least clear it out of the zone. Freeman not able to hold on to it. Pokes it towards goal. Viba around. A solid performance for Goons, making the most of the opportunities presented to them. Here's Leitinen, short side, doesn't go. There was a hit, though, on the far side, anticipating the one-timer. With the cross crease, it will be dangled you out, taking a seat here late in the game.
Yeah, and actually laid him out there with that truculence, looking to be, should have been just a bump, but he completely knocks over the Goons skaters. So maybe they're going to look to put a little bit of salt in the wound right here, especially they want to improve that goal differential, because as we mentioned, a seeding can come down to that goal differential.
Absolutely, final 7 seconds here. Freeman can't hold on to it. It will be Finn Kona's game here compared to the last one. The shutout for him, 3-0. The final in favor of Goons.
Just had to make sure right there with that pause, that puck could have bounced out and trickled in somehow the way we've seen it. Yeah. Don't say the word yet. Don't say the word.
His second shutout of the season, though, we can say officially.
Yeah, good for him, and a solid response there from Goons. That early goal, I think, really kind of helped set the tone for them, and then their penalty kill did what ZSC's did in the last one. They kept the other team off the board, even though they got into penalty trouble. They were able to kind of keep ZSC off the board, even though they lost that game. And in this one, it's ZSC, the ones, with all the power plays, and they weren't able to capitalize on. Goons weren't able to stop. Or I lost my train of thought. I'm getting it backwards. Yes, ZSC wasn't able to capitalize on the power play opportunities. I got there in the end.
There you go. Goons again, the big result again for ZSC. Just can't help but think it could have been closer than that. But as mentioned, both teams picking up 2 points on the day at the very least. And again, not the worst case scenario, knowing what the playoff structure happens to be and what the situation is. Again, ZSC entering play today in 10th. Their playoff hopes still very much alive, as we'll get a look here at that opening goal, I do believe. And indeed, Sin, it was very difficult. I mean, obviously, you give up a goal less than a minute in. It's very difficult to kind of battle back from that.
Yeah, and again, that's just such a kind of a rough break for Chich. When the initial thing, it just seems like he got animated and pulled aside, or he slid too much. But on that second replay, especially, you can see who's sort of predicting the one time, and the way the puck was just kind of getting poked and stick lift and craziness in that slot. It just didn't happen by the time he was sliding. The attacking skater just decided to take that shot right there. And this play right here by Jay Toro, so good. Just kind of protecting the puck on that backhand to the middle. Looks like he got poked a slight amount, and then he slides it 5-hole as he cuts across. That's just a great play by him as you get that goaltender moving. Those pads open up for you, and he slid that one home.
So looking ahead here, heading into the final week or so of the season. Sin, looking at ZSC's remaining schedule. Frölunda, H-Reds, Granite, Färjestad, all 4 playoff teams. That is a really tough road for them. At this stage, I'm sure they're still thinking playoffs at the very least. Security, making sure they don't have to fight for their survival. Like, at this point, if you don't make the playoffs, boys, at least as long as you finish somewhere between 9 and 12, you've done a pretty good job, given how tough that schedule is down the stretch. Yeah. And for Goons, heading into the final week, they will end up taking on Conquer, who, of course, are right now very much kind of in that relegation mix. Frölunda, Sawo, 2 very tough teams, obviously, and then Northern Ascendancy. So Goons have the easier schedule of the 2. They do find themselves in a playoff spot right now. So it was looking a little bit shaky for Goons. And I mean, again, their record, not what we would have anticipated at all heading into the season. Again, I'd love to refer to it. The captain's poll that we had at the beginning of the season, Goons were projected to finish in 4th after finishing in 5th last year. Like, very much viewed as one of those teams that could get home ice advantage. Hasn't quite been that this season, at least consistently. But with the way the season's going and a team like Havu dropping 2 games to IQ today, who knows? Maybe top 4 is still very much alive for Goons.
Yeah, I think it could be, but I'm predicting at this point with the way they perform, with the way their record is right now, the point percentage. Of course, they came in today still with the 2 games in hand over a lot of these other teams, minimum. I think they could always melt down, but I would say they should make the playoffs, or nearly a shoo-in with the way that they're playing. But yeah, it just comes down to that seeding, and obviously the lower in the bracket you go, the tougher your road becomes.
So again, a split of the games between ZSC Esports and Goons. That does it for our first series of the day. We will be back after a brief intermission. Go grab a drink, go grab a snack, and come back to watch our defending champions in H-Reds take on Färjestad. We'll be back in just a few minutes. We hope to see you on the other side of the break.